You're writing your songs at your desktop, aren't you? You know, the landscape has really changed over the last few years, especially with the price in real estate skyrocketing. I don't see nearly as many people writing music as a group, as a whole, in a garage somewhere, you know, puking all over the floor, smelling the place up, farting everywhere, and writing music together. Writing music has become kind of a solitary thing these days. And, you know, we've got all this amazing technology that allows us to get our ideas down. Big problem, though. The songwriting skills really aren't there. I mean, like, I've been listening to you guys every Monday morning and evening for the last year and a half, and I can count the number of really interesting songs that have been sent in on one hand. So, what's going on? What the hell's the problem? Where are the good freaking songs? So I thought I'd bring in a special guest today, my very good friend, Trey Xavier, to maybe help us decipher what's going on and hopefully give us some insights on how to make a song more memorable.
What's up, you handsome devil? I think this is very important because you're here teaching people how to make their songs sound awesome, but even with the greatest production on earth, if you don't have a great song, then it doesn't matter at all. You're just pissing into the wind.
That is absolutely true. I had this, massive gent epic come in the other day. They shot a music video. They had a guest vocalist from a bigger band come in, and it sounded awesome. I can't remember what that song sounded like at all, though. That was the problem, though. There was no hook. So the big question is to everybody out there, and I only learned this over the last year or so, is the question is, what is a hook? And more importantly, how do we write one?
It's kind of an elusive idea, and even people who are really good at it don't necessarily know what's going to work and what's not, because there's not a formula. It's formulaic in a way, because if there was a formula, we'd all be rich, right? We'd all be writing the big hooky songs and pulling in those dollary dues. But that's not how it works. You kind of have to be open to the idea and recognize them when they come along in your writing. You just got to be writing all the time.
Then you're going to pump the brakes there, Chief. I asked you a question. What is a hook?
So a hook...
Okay, I did ask how do we get them, but seriously, what is a hook? Just for definition out there, in case anybody's wondering, what the hell are you talking about?
So a hook is the thing that you remember after hearing the song once.
Like,
it can be anything.
Here's what the fox says.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Yeah, I've only heard that song once, and I could not get that out of my head at all.
Yeah, and that's a great example of a hook that's kind of stupid.
Yes.
And a lot of hooks are kind of stupid.
Yeah.
But it worked great. You remembered it.
Oh,
and that's the thing. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be a lyric or something they sung. Yep. It can be all kinds of stuff.
Sure, absolutely. I know I'm kind of going over a list of things that are great hooks, and that's the first thing that came to mind. I mean, and then you throw Barbie Girl into the mix, and everybody knows that melody. And let's not repeat it here because that was just purely conjured by Satan. But it just works. It's just one of those things that is absolutely unforgettable, and I think that's what a hook is. But a hook can be anything. It can be a melody. It can be lyrics. It can even be something as simple as a drum beat. I was thinking about that the other day, and I'm like, Judas Priest, Living After Midnight, the intro for that. Simple, effective drum beat. Boom, bop, boom, boom, bop. But it's like, you hear that and it's immediately like, okay, here we go.
In the Air Tonight, the drum fill is the hook.
Yeah, it really is. That's unforgettable as well. Nirvana, I mean, there was just hooks all over the place because Kurt Cobain could write memorable stuff.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be as stupid as what does the fox say, but there's a kind of stupidity that will get stuck in your head because it's what I call a brain breaker.
Okay.
I'll use a metal example of a brain breaker. This one's actually one of my favorites. Hello, me.
Oh, God.
Meet the real me.
Hello, me.
Okay.
Meet the real me.
Hello, me.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
we love you, Dave.
Hilariously, that's sort of the antithesis of catchy in a musical way, because the way that he says it is kind of with no rhythm. It's very conversational.
Right.
But those two words together kind of break your brain a little bit. Sure. Hello, me. That says a ton in just one short little phrase, because then you go like, wait, what? What do you mean, hello, me? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, the thing is, and just an observational thing about that is, a great hook can immediately bring you back to whatever you were experiencing at the time when you heard that. A great, that's a wonderful example, because every time I hear that, I'm brought back, to the bar I was at here in Windsor back in like 94, 95, whenever that song came out, and watching girls in very tight short skirts trying to dance to that and just laughing my ass off. It's like, 'cause that's impossible.
Yeah. They couldn't get the catch the swing.
It was more of a, they figured out some kind of a stripper grind. It worked, I guess, but it was like, wow. I'm just like, how the hell could you, anyway.
Part of the reason something like that works is the same reason that like a joke will make you laugh. There's a disconnect in your brain that forces you to pay attention. And when it does that, it like starts your memory recording, right? Okay. Because it's like, something's happening right now. This is important. I have to pay attention. And that's why you're going to remember it later. And also if it's like almost like a puzzle, your brain is going to loop it until you figure it out, you know?
Fair enough. Another great hook for metal. The opening riff there for Enter Sandman. Everybody knows that. That's just the ultimate air guitar riff at this point. Everybody hears that. They just want to play air guitar. That's how it works.
Yeah. So hooks are like, to me, a little bit like a sign that you put outside your shop, okay? Your little store where you're selling the rest of the song, okay? Like if you've got some really, really great song or some lyrics that you really like and you want people to stick around for the whole thing and listen, like you have to have some little sign outside that will sum up what your song is about or like give people a reason to come in. Even if it's a bit gimmicky and the rest of the song is more, I don't know, straightforward or like meaningful or something, you can still have something that's sort of peacocking for your song, right? A guy standing outside handing out free samples of a Philly cheesesteak,
Sure. So what you're saying is genting away on your bottom string with like 2 notes for 9 minutes isn't going to sell the song?
No. But if you want people to hear all of that, you could have something else that makes them want to stick around, or at least poke their head in and see what the rest of it is about.
Now, this is the thing. We were both on the 70,000 Tons of Metal cruise earlier this year, and Trey had a chance to sit down with a few people and ask some of the guys in the bands, what's a hook?
For me, a hook could be anything from a guitar melody to catchy vocal line to even a certain breakdown. I mean, even some of these heavy bands that have super cool breakdowns, there's always some sort of melody that you can't get out of your head.
Something that you remember, but it could be really stupid and it could be really simple and it could be really annoying. But if it's done right, where it's just something that kind of like, I remember this song because of that, then it's actually awesome. Something that kind of like, gives the song a certain identity. You want something that is memorable, but at the same time not overdo it. Like repeating something over and over again just because it makes it easy, it's a very bad idea. Striking that right balance, I think it's probably the hardest thing, but at the same time, that's something I at least I strive for, to get like songs that people will remember, but at the same time, it's not overdone or too obvious, So a hook is important, but it can also be something that irritates you when it's done badly.
Okay, that's fantastic. Now, ulterior motive alert. Trey has been working on something for exactly this, and it's something you guys need help with. If you remember, when did we do that? About 2 years ago, you put out a course. What was the first course called there, Trey?
It's called Complete Rock and Metal Songwriting.
And I know a bunch of you guys bought that and got a lot of help with that. And you've got something out brand new this week. What's that called?
It's called How to Actually Write Lyrics. And it's a 10-hour course on just that. 10
hours? You mean you spend 10 hours teaching people how not to rhyme fire with desire?
I know, it's
or brain
feels
and insane?
Like it shouldn't take that much.
Yeah, it's like, wow. But then again, we're dealing with musicians, so they might need a little bit of hand holding. And it's like, so what should I be writing if I want to talk about fire? What other lyrics should I be using to rhyme with it then?
Choir is a good one.
Conspire.
Inspire.
Retire.
But I'm hoping to retire someday. Yeah. That's not true. No, but like the point is mainly that you wouldn't have to have a list of things to rhyme with it. Like I'm not going to give you a list of things to rhyme with fire or anything that basic, because that's the give a man a fish approach, right?
Okay.
I can't tell you what to write exactly. You have to become a better writer so that you'll know what to do. Like, you'll know what you want.
Okay.
Because writing is very personal. I can't tell you, write a song about this, and this is what you're going to write about, and you're going to do it like this. I have to give you the skills to be able to do what you want to write, and that's why I made it.
Well, that's my big question then. So what are the viewers out there going to get for their hard-earned money? Why should anybody buy this, Trey? What's the big idea here? If you're not going to teach us how to not rhyme, fire, and desire, there better be something good in this.
That is also in there, but what you're actually going to get is two main important things. Number one is some methods that you can actually use right now immediately to write better lyrics that you're writing. So like tomorrow you could be writing better stuff. One incredibly useful thing in this course is to help you to just generate tons and tons of the raw material that you're actually going to write your songs from, because a lot of people will sit there in front of a blank page waiting for lyrics to come to them. But what I realized is that if you try and just write lyrics without having a ton of ammunition first, then you're not going to be writing nearly as much as you need to actually write a really great song. So I'm going to show you how to do that.
I totally agree with that. I mean, like, that's very much related to any kind of creative writing at all, whether it be lyrics or even scripting. I mean, like, when I'm working on YouTube videos, a script just doesn't come to me. I'm constantly writing down bullet points whenever something drops into my conscience. It's like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to write that down and then come back to it later. And I've got a list of things I want to cover on a certain topic. So this could definitely be the same kind of methodology to use when you're writing lyrics for your song. It isn't just, you're going to be inspired. I mean, the only time that ever worked for me when I was bored in high school, sitting in a class, I'm like, oh, I better write some lyrics, keep myself from going insane.
You need to write all the time, and you need to write a lot more than what you're actually going to use for the final product.
Agreed.
And so I'm going to show you how to do that. Also, a lot of what I call lyric theory.
Okay.
Stuff that's going to make you a better writer, because you're going to increase your understanding of things like rhyme schemes and patterns for how you have the words within a phrase, right? Within the measure, syncopation, and like rhythmic things. Because a lot of people will write some great words and then they come out awkward because they don't understand forced syllable stress,
Okay,
like
fair
you
enough.
sound like a weirdo, because like no human being would talk like that, and when you put it in a song, it sounds really awkward. So that's a thing that I like really stress, how to help people with their not awkward sounding lyrics.
Okay.
Or make their lyrics not sound awkward.
Now, do you have an example of that you can show us?
I do.
Okay, let's
roll the clip.
Yeah, let's roll the clip right now.
Emphasis in spoken language is a huge part of communicating. I'll demonstrate that by saying that same sentence again, but like a crazy person. Emphasis in spoken language is a huge part of communicating. If you heard somebody say it like that, you'd be looking for the zipper on their human suit. There are patterns of stressed and unstressed syllables built into the things that we say. Listen to any sentence that I'm saying and hear which syllables are getting more emphasis and which are getting less. So when you're putting words to beats, you need to consider where the naturally stressed syllables of those words are going to coincide with the strong beats. Because if you land an unstressed syllable on a strong beat, it can force the syllable to become stressed, and that's what causes the awkward sound. It's something that I call forced syllabic stress. If a syllable coincides with a strong beat of the measure, it can put a stress on it whether you want it to or not. So if that part of the word isn't meant to have an emphasis, you shouldn't land it on that beat. A real easy rule of thumb to avoid this kind of syllable awkwardness. If you wouldn't put the stress on that syllable of the word when saying it in a sentence, then don't do it in a song.
All right, so we're back, and that's Trey with his brand new course.
How to actually write lyrics.
Okay, that's a big help. Now, we're going to just circle back to what we were talking to earlier, because we took a little bit at the, how to write lyrics kind of thing, but you also talked about hooks and what you call brain breakers, and this is part of the course as well. What's this all about?
if you repeat something a lot, almost anything can become catchy if you just repeat it. If you just repeat it. If you just repeat it, right?
Speaking of catchy and repeating it, it's like that just immediately brings me back to Team America and the song Everyone Has AIDS.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a hook right there.
Yeah. Or it's like that Bo Burnham song, repeat stuff,
Okay.
repeat stuff, right? But if you have something that's going to get people's attention immediately, then you don't have to repeat it that many times. And doing a really good brain breaker is one great way to do that. You want something that somebody's going to hear one time and remember it forever.
Like, here's what the fox says.
Yeah. Like having some little clever twist, like unbreak my heart.
Okay.
That's not a real word. Unbreak is not a word.
That's true.
But it makes perfect sense, right? Unbreak my heart. It's a little bit stupid, but also a little bit genius, and it makes you think. Through the Fire and the Flames is another one, another metal example.
Yeah, it's like hang on, aren't they
Flames
both the same
is
thing?
already part of Fire.
Yeah,
like, it's
like,
redundant.
yeah, don't know what they were thinking there, but yeah, it works.
Yeah, or dude looks like a lady.
Yeah, well, that
Like,
totally makes
what-
sense.
What? But what the hell is that? You still stop for a second and go like, holy crap!
You know who that
That's
song
a hell
was
of a
written
thing to
about?
put in a song. I don't.
No, that was Steven Tyler walked into the rainbow, and he thought he saw a beautiful woman. And he turned around, and it was Vince Neil.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, true story. Anyway,
Nobody making that mistake these days.
Yeah.
These days, Steven Tyler looks like your cool aunt.
Yeah.
So, joke's on him, I guess.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, roll the clip on brain breakers.
Something that is very undervalued in all the teaching materials that I've encountered for what makes something catchy. And it's what I call a brain breaker. It's something that'll stop you dead in your tracks, make you make a face like this, and then have to think real hard about what you just heard. If you make someone think even a tiny bit, they're gonna remember the thing that you said all day. If you have one that's good enough to have this effect, then you won't even need to repeat it that much because it's gonna stick out way more. Here's a few examples. The Attila song About That Life, he has the line, suck my fuck. It ticks like so many of the boxes. It's incredibly stupid. It doesn't make any logical sense, but it has like a certain kind of internal logic. And boy, oh boy, is it provocative. On the other end of the spectrum, unbreak my heart. They made up a word, unbreak. You can't unbreak something. That doesn't make any sense. But there it is. They created a whole new word. And it makes perfect sense. Even though it's not a real word, it's not like anybody who heard it was like, what does that mean, unbreak? How do you unbreak something? No. You got it immediately. It's intentionally trying to get someone's brain to hit a snag. You're giving them a puzzle to solve, and they won't be able to move on without solving it. It doesn't have to be that much of a brain breaker. You can also just present a familiar idea with a simple twist. Master of puppets is a phrase that most metalheads are familiar with by now, but most people who have never heard the song before would hear it as being a swap of the phrase puppet master. They switched the usual order of the words, and that breaks the brain just a little bit. The meaning isn't lost at all. A master of puppets and a puppet master are the same thing. Nobody was confused as to what it was, but the presentation of it is different enough to attract attention.
All right, that was pretty cool, Trey. Now, tell me a little bit about this course, because I was taking a look at the prices here, and now normally the price on this thing is $397. Jeez, that ain't
Well,
cheap. How dare you?
How dare I? Well, it's 10 hours.
Okay.
So that's like, imagine how much you would spend on a 3-credit college course, right? Probably about that, and then you can't watch it again later.
That is a good point there. So yeah, you're saying this is a college level course? So you're saying you're getting
I'm saying it's as many hours as I think that you would have in like a 2 or 3 credit college course. I don't know. It's been a hot minute since I was paying for college, but
yeah, and you did go to Berkeley, did you not?
That's like community college level prices. This is going to be a lot about the same as like the cheapest college course you can find, but it's a lot more practical.
Sure.
And it's on sale right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's gonna be even less than that.
We've got it on sale. I wrote this down. Trey decided to make an exclusive offer to my viewers. He's going to extend the sale out to November 5th, end of day. And the price on this is going to be only $197. And this is for, what's the name of the course one more time, Trey?
It's called How to Actually Write Lyrics.
And the other thing is you've also got a bundle deal going on till November 5th as well with your first course, the rock and metal songwriting course. What's the normal price on that?
It's $497 most of the time.
Damn. Okay, so we've got an exclusive bundle deal here to all the Spectre Sound viewers. So you can get them both for only $427. That's the songwriting course and that's the lyrics course for only $427. So that's an exclusive deal to the Spectre Sound viewers there. And I just did the math here. That's going to save you $467 if you get them both now on this exclusive bundle deal. Links are in the description below. Once again, that's only going to be till end of day, November 5th. So if you want to step up your songwriting game, go talk to my friend Trey, because he's going to help you out not only with your songwriting, but with your lyrics as well, all in a rock and metal format.
Yeah, the lyrics course isn't exclusive to rock and metal because lyrics, the actual process of generating and writing lyrics is the same for any genre.
Sure.
But if you get them both together, then you're going to be able to write full songs, music, all the arrangements, program drums, and everything, and write great lyrics to sing. You'll be completely covered.
Fantastic. All right, Trey. Well, thanks so much for being on the show. And you guys, once again, if you want to up your songwriting or your lyrics game, follow the links in the description below. Get that exclusive deal because it's only going to be around for a few more days. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, Trey. Thanks again for being on the show. And thanks to the special guests in the interviews because that was really fucking cool. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. And until then, be excellent to one another.